Hey there everybody, my name's Joe Maring with XDA TV, and here's everything that happened over on the XDA developer forums that you need to know for Friday, July 14th, 2017. Our first story for the week does have to do with the upcoming Google Pixel XL2, as the folks over at Android Police got their hands on a render for what is supposed to be the upcoming design for the new device. According to the folks over at Android Police, the Google Pixel X2 will be made by LG, and you can really see that design influence from the company based in the overall render for the device itself. The back of these renders for the Pixel XL2 looks very similar to what we had with last year's Pixel and Pixel XL, but when you move to the front of the phone, it looks very similar to what we have with the near bezel-less design on the LG G6, and the Pixel XL2 will also supposedly adopt the brand new 18:9 aspect ratio. Although this render is not confirmed to be the final design for the Pixel XL2, we are expecting it to go kind of this route, and if this is the way it's heading, you can definitely count me in. Speaking of device renders and LG handsets, we gotta feast our eyes upon some new renders for what the upcoming LG V30 is supposed to look like. Now, we had heard previous rumors that the LG V30 would feature some sort of weird secondary slide-out display, but according to these new renders, that looks like that's not going to be the case. The overall design for the LG V30 looks very similar to this year's LG G6, with the one exception that the back of the phone appears to be a bit more rounded off than we had with this year's earlier flagship. Now, in addition to these device renders, LG also sent out official press invitations for an event that's going to be held at IFA 2017 this year in Berlin, and at that event we're really expecting LG to fully announce the LG V30, so hopefully it won't be too much longer before we can stop talking about rumors and renders and really get our hands on the legit full version of the upcoming phone. Also this week, we got the official announcement for Paranoid Android 7.2.0, and while the ROM is still technically based off of Android 7.1.2 Nougat, this new version for the ROM does bring along a lot of new features, squashes a ton of bugs, and also supports even more devices than ever before. We recently published a full hands-on look on Paranoid Android 7.2, and there is a lot to offer here. It's a very stable ROM, it runs really well, and the new features that have been added are a lot of fun to play around with. Over on the XDA forums, XDA junior member John Reese uploaded a new application called Aquila Messenger. Aquila Messenger is a messaging application that takes all of your direct messages from your Twitter account and lays them out in an application that's very customizable, very stable, and looks quite a bit better than the base messaging feature in the stock Twitter application. Aquila supports multiple Twitter accounts, there are multiple themes to play around with to really adjust the look to your exact liking, and just a really nice way to go ahead and send messages and receive messages through your Twitter account in a bit of a more fun manner. And lastly, there were two new Substratum themes that were released onto the XDA forums and XDA labs. The first theme is aptly named Xperia Lockscreen Clock, and it essentially brings over the Lockscreen clock from Xperia devices to any Android phone running the Substratum theme engine. There are two different clock designs you have to play around with, and they're very minimalist looking, and they're actually quite nice. The other theme that was released is called X Settings, and this is a Substratum theme that's made specifically for any Android phones running builds of Paranoid Android based off of Android Nougat. The Nougat builds for Paranoid Android really don't give you a lot of customization over the status bar of your device, and this is something that X Settings sets out to fix. With X Settings, you can change the position of the clock in your status bar, you can change various icons and even remove them altogether, and you even have some control over how your quick settings look. Both X Settings and the Xperia Lockscreen Clock are free to download from the XDA forums, and there are links to those and all other stories talked about in this video down in the description below. But with that said, that's going to do it here for this video. If you guys did like the video, please go ahead and click the like button, subscribe to the XDA YouTube channel if you haven't already, and down in the description below, along with links to all the stories talked about, are also links to my social profiles and XDA's as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.